Doctors, my doctors from the West Coast, very, very disciplined and very motivated. Thank you. Right. I know it's not easy. I keep acknowledging it, right? It's 9 o'clock here on the East Coast. You guys are on the West Coast. I get that, right? I get that. Eventually you're gonna get tired, I know. So we're just talking as friends here. When the weekends come, like Saturday and Sunday, take time for yourself. Obviously, I know you know this, but I realized that as I went through medicine, we all need a reminder because I have many businesses, investments. Even I need a reminder, hey man, slow down, take it easy. Because we all, amongst my friends and colleagues that we spend time with and we dinners and travel together, we all have to remind each other, take time, be a little selfish, even though we want to keep growing, keep expanding, keep making it, right? So pace yourselves, whether you take a little break in midday or something, whatever it is, just stick with it, especially time is limited. So wonderful to have you guys on board. As we always say, we have to be careful what we hear and who we listen to. There's a lot of advice out there. All I want to mention is the advice that you hear and perhaps take, just make sure it pertains to you, or make sure that you can try it out and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then I'm shocked the power of forums to a point where people would invest in an advice or two towards their future. I'm just talking about residency now. And then they'll take advice from a total stranger never met, from a text on a forum. And I'm shocked to see the amount of people that have been coming to me for my services for the match. And they themselves didn't match last year because they took advice from somebody Reddit, somebody Facebook forum, and this is for your future, right? So, I'm not worried about it because you guys have me. Regardless of after step one, step two, you always have my phone number, contact. As you realize, I care for people that I work with. So I would love to give you guys advice, not a problem. It's other people out there that literally like, no, 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 but that's what I heard. And I'm like, okay, but when I have my sister and other 15 physicians that I know personally who tell me do not do this, clearly you know more than I. So it's frustrating. Not for me. I feel bad for them because they're not gonna match, and then they're gonna fall into the cycle of flying every year. Anyway, so today's a Wednesday morning. Now we're doing microbiology. I broke micro into 4 different parts throughout the month to help you. Right? We have bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites. The issue is, many people might say, micro, I'm good. Micro, it's not that big. Clearly, yesterday we did respiratory. Right? Today we're going to be doing renal in the afternoon. And respiratory, you saw that we had micro. So in order for you to get points, see, I'm here to help you in a short time, the short time that you give me, whether it's 1 month, 2, 3, 4, whatever months you to offer. I try to maximize your return, which means I can't teach you respiratory phase to everybody. I can't teach every possible pharmacology, physiology, pathology, pathophysics, every single, I can't, I don't have enough time. Okay? So what do? I show you how to make the most of it and move on. So yesterday we did pretty good with respiratory, right? Today we're doing micro. Now, I always want you to ask yourselves, how do I get the points? That's it. That's all I want you to do. So today we're doing fungi. Now, I chose a nice selection that you haven't seen that what didn't show up yesterday, obviously. So there's questions I want you guys to do with me live. There's some pharmacology questions, right? So maybe farm isn't your strong point there, but I need to make it strong. And yes, it is a dark hole. It's a wonderful form, but be careful. That's all. It's kind of spiral at the same time. Reddit, but it's great. Right? It's nice because you can see what's out there. You can appreciate people out there are just like us, like working hard. But just be cautious. That's all. Whether it's Reddit or in person, people telling you certain things. Maybe it worked for them, but it might not. So I need you guys to get points. I need you guys to pass. I need you guys to say goodbye to me respectfully from the step world. And obviously, we're friends and colleagues and move on with your lives in your career, right? Or else we won't ever get there. So as a friend, a colleague, even as a parent of sorts, I'm trying to edge you slowly into like, hey, let's get going to take the test because I know what happens when we get stuck in a certain motion, just constantly studying. You, it consumes you. And before we begin, what I realize is my problem was instead of focusing on what I could, I just kind of brushed it and kept trying to find something else to focus my energy. That's what happens to a lot of us, right? I want to focus on this and this and this. Yeah, but can you focus on these 10 things? Yeah, I'm okay, but let's go here. I know, but these things aren't strong to begin with. This is where I think a lot of us have issues with because we always want to keep trying to find out new information. So I beg of you, if this is you, focus on the majority chunk of systems. Now, today's Wednesday, July 24th. Some of us are taking the test sooner than later. Let's keep pushing hard. Let's raise your hands. I think Sings will probably raise her hand. As I like Sings like, whoop, she's the West Coast version of Anthony. Anybody can raise their hands. I know there's only a few here today. I need you guys to practice with me. Let's push hard. Let's do questions together. Okay. Because I mean, why not, right? We're a team here. Eventually, we won't be here because you'll be moving on to the next step. Now, Dr. Singh, how are you doing with sleep? And are you doing well balancing day by day?
Sleep is going okay. But I'm trying to do better. Like I think it's me like not being able to go to sleep soon enough and then I get
Okay.
tired for the next day. But if I do sleep on time, then I'm pretty good for the next day. So I just have to work on being more consistent at when I fall asleep.
Sure. No, I get it. I know it's easy. I mean, it sounds silly, but it's the real thing, right? Um, I know we all have what we have to do, but if you can get on a schedule, just think of it as you got to go for a rotation. This is your only
Yeah.
rotation. Because if you don't, you need to get to a certain point in your career. So I trust me, it's not easy to stay on schedule. And I applaud you for coming up mornings because at least to get you going. And then later, obviously, the day is at a different pace, right? Before you
Mhm.
know, you'll be done. It's a short time frame. That's all. I'm telling you
Yeah.
too. Like if when I sleep late, I know I'm going to hurt the next day. There's days where I have to stay late for have some meetings and family stuff. I'm like, oh, tired. I think like that's why people say, oh, wake up at 5 a.m. Yeah, but for that to happen, you got to go to bed like 9 p.m. That's not easy too.
Exactly.
You want to hang out with friends and watch some shows and I don't know some Netflix and just have a life, right?
Mhm.
Instead of working all day. But that's the
Yeah.
price you pay for waking up early is you got to go to sleep early. You can't go to bed at 12:01 and get up at 5. It's gonna get you. So I
Yeah.
know it happened to me all the time. All right. So we did respiratory yesterday, which was cool. And you guys are doing well. So are you seeing the connections little by little? Do you see the differences as we push forward?
I am. I am noticing more and more. I just have to like practice it because micro is more of my weakness. So it's always the part that stumps me.
And I'll tell you this, that's why you think, I thought long and hard of what because I've taken many years, I've done this for a decade, but I've taken many courses too. And I know both sides, point of views, right? Student side, physician side, present. Trust me, it'll be easy for me to say, yeah, one day a month I do my, it's not, so I'm doing 4 times a month. It's 4 hours, as well as implementing these cases in the other systems, which you will see on exam day, respiratory, renal, cardio, GI. Right? Okay, so let's do some questions, and I promise you, if you can work on immunology, microbiology, biochemistry, farm and cancers, you have an edge. Just have to pass the test, right? I know you
Mhm.
want to know everything. You're not going to be able to. Later in step 2 in your rotations, you have the luxury to take time. You can say, wow, now I can kind of get it better. I promise you, okay? Let's push hard. Let's put answers in the chat box. Let's push together. Time is now. Let's do
Okay. Um. Okay.
it.
His
NVMe questions, like really short,
CD4. Just read it from the beginning then.
whatever you like.
Okay. A 26-year-old man comes to the physician for a follow-up examination. He was diagnosed with the HIV infection 2 weeks ago. His CD4 positive T lymphocyte count is 162, so pretty low. Um, An interferon gamma release assay is negative. Prophylactic treatment against which of the following pathogens is most appropriate at this time?
Now, I don't like this question. This question, if you don't know the CD4 count, are you able to answer, is it fair to answer the question if you don't know some of the numbers or the opportunistic infections are?
It'll be hard if you don't. Yeah.
It'll be hard if you know. So either, and again, is this fair? No. The USMLE exam is not fair. I've said this before. It's not fair. I've said this on day 1, day 5, everything. So what do you think you can do to conquer this exam, this question, and questions like this? What's your game plan? What's your
The
kind
best thing I would say is like eliminate the like answer choices that would be above the 200 range since this is below
Yep.
200
Yes. 100%.
just to like get your numbers down, like your options more narrowed.
Yeah. And how about the other part of the spectrum? If we know there's some organisms that are really, really popular and they come out to play and attack when it's 100 or less, they're not going to show up on 162. Like they need to come out when you're sick, more sick, like sick,
Yeah,
more infected. So
right.
as the body starts deteriorating with CD4 count, you're like, uh-oh, get down to 150. There's a few guys and girls waiting, going, huh? Now I'm going to come out to get you because I can't get you on 162. You're still too healthy. If you get down to 100 or 50, I'm going to come get you, right? So you can go both sides, the high numbers and the low numbers. Or
Yeah.
memorize everything, memorize a bracket. It's one or the other. There's no way around this. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What can we do to leverage what do we see in the questions then? That gives us some power to say, what else? What can I knock out right away? Right away.
Okay, right away. I mean, aspergillus, definitely.
Okay.
That's not even part of like the condition. Um,
Aspergillus is less than 100. So aspergillosis.
um,
Usually people get invasive aspergillosis, have CD4 counts. So that's out.
mhm.
What is this here?
um, interferon gamma release. That's more viral related. I'm actually not too sure about that.
Okay, keep going. Whatever you can do. Show me.
So I would take out Mycobacterium avum as well because that's less than 50.
That's the low end. Yeah, good.
TB I would take out because that's usually less than 500, but more than 200.
So this TB is out, and we'd like to take it out. At the same time, this here, interferon gamma interferon, usually
Oh,
would
that
not be
would be
negative.
TB.
And because we talked about TB is like a delayed reaction type 4,
Yeah.
macrophages, gamma interferon. So these are the terms that we're just familiar with. We have to familiarize yourself with to then give us the
Oh.
extra leverage. So TB would be out for this reason. This is
Mhm.
negative, so we'll take this back.
Okay. Um, I believe crypto is less than 100.
Good. So this is less than 100. And I would say, if I had to do this, I look at all the hundreds and less. Said, the higher end, low end, kind of get most of it. That's it's a leverage point. So histos there, no more sisters is there. We have toxo and CMV.
Toxo and CMV, I believe, is less than 100, less than 50 as well. So I
Good.
would take those two out.
May I show you a little trick?
Yeah.
When I see toxoplasma, looks like 100 to me. 100, right? That's cool.
Ah,
So if I
okay.
see it, I need you to think this way, guys. That's why I show you my tricks. Because if I don't show you my tricks, I need you to evolve and make it your own. See the connections. Or you have T Gandhi, right? This makes 100 to me too. That looks like 00, like 100. Whatever to quickly trigger in my mind when I see Toxo 100. You'll never forget this ever. Those who